I wanted to do a video, and Nacho's here too. Now he's purring. Today I wanted to do a little video about me as a spinner, how I got into spinning, and my current / only spinning project that I have. So let's get started. I will probably be adding little snippets of me actually spinning. I recorded this video once before with me actually spinning while I was talking, and it just didn't go very well, so I will include some of the clips of me spinning and oiling my wheel, but I'm going to try and just talk about this without distraction. So, some background of me as a spinner. I wanted to try spinning a few years ago, and the local yarn store that I lived by at the time, I was living in the city back then, and I lived like a block or two away from a shop, which was really nice. But they were doing an intro to spinning class, and so I decided to take it, and it ended up being the instructor, myself, and one other woman in the class. So it was really, really one-on-one attention, and it really was really great, informative, and definitely encouraged me to keep up with my spinning. So before that, I had never done anything before and never had used a spindle, never really did anything. So the class started with just us learning about what spinning was and what drafting was and the twist, and taught us how to draft. And so the shop had wheels available for us to use, so that was really what we did. I think maybe the first day we worked with the spindle just a little bit, but we were both really more interested in the wheel, and so the class shifted to that focus again. It was just two of us, so we could really do what we wanted. And so we each just randomly sat down at a wheel at the first class, and I think it was maybe 4 classes over the course of a month. Like maybe it was every Sunday afternoon or every other Sunday, something like that. And yeah, and so I happened to sit down at a Louette wheel, and the other woman, and I really can't remember her name, this was about 4 years ago at this point, she sat down randomly at the Ladybug. And we both were trying to spin, and you know, as beginner spinners do, obviously there was no consistency, and it was really thick and thin and all that. So, but neither one of us were really getting the hang of it. We were both a little frustrated, and so I don't even know how it happened, but we ended up switching wheels, and it both clicked for both of us. We both all of a sudden could do it, and so after the class ended, I decided to save up and buy myself a Ladybug. So this is my wheel here, and I'll just hold it up quickly because you'll see it in the video of me oiling it. But this is a wheel. It's pretty small. I'm sure you've all seen a Ladybug before, but I do think this is a great wheel. I mean, it's worked well for me. Yeah, so I've had it now probably for about 2.5 to 3 years, and it still works great. Granted, I don't get to spin as much as I probably should, but that's okay. In the class, what they gave us to work with at first was just a bag of wool. It's Corriedale. Oh, it's from Louette, so they probably got it when they ordered the wheels. But it's just some comb top, you can see, and we just both played with it. So this is actually, I had like a more royal blue color, which I do have some left over of. So we just used that throughout the whole class, and we really just practiced our drafting. Yeah, and it wasn't much more than that. So after the class ended, I had that royal blue, so I actually bought this. I bought the wheel through my yarn store, And when I did, I also bought this green, and so I ended up practicing with that, and made myself this skein. So this is my first spun skein. I did 3 plies and did chain plying. And I haven't used it, obviously, not because I don't think it's good enough. I'm actually really proud for a first skein, like how consistent it is. But it's okay. The wool isn't the softest, and it's just like kind of one color. So not that I'm against it. I just haven't really gotten around to using it, which I know they say you should do, but knitting is a hobby, and I don't want to force myself to use yarn that I don't necessarily want to use when I am fortunate enough to have other yarn that I can use. So I actually thought about using it for like a little art wall, like to put pegs and kind of write something out and like twist it around and do something with that. So I might still do that, especially now that we have moved into our house and are settling in. I might think about doing something like that. Okay, so then I happened to enter into a giveaway on Instagram with Created by Elsie B, and I mean, her Instagram, even if you don't spin, her Instagram is worth following just because of how amazing her comb top and braids and photographs are. But I ended up winning this actually through, it was, I think when she launched her website, she did a giveaway to get you to kind of look at her website and pick out a colorway you like. So this is how it comes. I've already started processing it, so it's not in a braid anymore, but it's Created by Elsie B, and I don't have the tag, but it's the Niagara Falls colorway, which was listed actually when I got it as a one of a kind, so I'm not sure if she still has it. Again, this was from a while ago. And so what I've decided to do with this, because it's one of my first skein or braids, and I didn't want to just make it self-striping. Like, I didn't want to just do the colors at a time, because this is all one color. Like, I really wanted to play with color and see how that works when you spin. And so I decided to do this as a fractal spin, and you're probably seeing pictures of my process here. But what I ended up doing with the braid was I split it lengthwise. So if you do fractal, this is essentially what fractal spinning is. But I split the whole braid lengthwise. So then I had the braid in 2. And so this is then one of that put back in the bag. So this is the second half of it still. And what I did was I lined it up again. So what I'm going to do with the first half is just spin it as it comes. So you're going to get long repeats of each color. So it started with the royal blue. The royal blue that you can see in there, that was kind of the first color. And then it went into the white, which you can kind of see a little bit of in there. And now I'm on this teal color. And I split, so once I had it all lined up the first half, I divided it up by color, just so they essentially were little nests that I could use up at a little bit at a time. And then I'm just spinning those in the correct order that she had them in the braid. So I still have the teal to do. There's like this deep purple, brown, some browns and blacks, and then I'm just going to see what happens with that. So once I spin the lengthwise of the first length of it, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the second half and I'm going to split it lengthwise again. And so what will happen is when it gets plied together, and I'm going to apply it as a 2-ply, what will happen is that first long bit of the royal blue, that's going to get matched up with some royal blue, but then some white, and then some teal, and then depending on how long it is, it'll go through the other colors. So I'll get some marling in there. and I'm just gonna do the 2 halves lengthwise and then lengthwise again. I know some people will continue splitting that second half down just to muddle it more and more, but because there's so much dark and browns in here, I think just doing it twice in the second half will be good, because I don't want to mix the colors up too much. So yeah, so that's my first project. Again, I don't spin as much as I should. When I first was spinning, I would get shin splints a lot, and as a runner that was interfering with my training, and so you know, I limit myself to doing it 15 minutes a day, which is it can be hard to limit yourself to that, especially on a day where it's hard to get going. Limiting yourself to 15 minutes can feel like it's over too quick, but it's a good practice to keep up with, and I'm trying to get in the habit of spinning on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then maybe one day over the weekend, and then hopefully bring that up to, you know, every day, or, you know, 5 or 6 times a week, and then hopefully extend 15 minutes to a little bit longer on some days. But yeah, taking it slow for now. Again, I have been working on this probably for a year now, and I'm still on the first half, so this will be around for a while, but I'm enjoying it while I can, and I have some other braids and fiber that I want to spin, so I do want to get faster and better at this, but of course that will happen over time. I figured I could show you really quick some of the other fiber I have in my stash. So I have another braid from Created by Elsie B, and I got this as a Christmas present one year. This is the Sugar Fairy or Purple Fairy. I'll put the colorway name here because, again, I don't seem to have the tag, but this is how the braid comes. So even my other one, this is how it comes. She braids it up, the comb top, into a nice braid. And I don't want to unbraid it, but you just essentially pull, and then when I say that I divided it lengthwise, when you get the comb top all stretched out, I just went down like that. So I'm not sure what I will do with this, if I'll do another fractal spin or just kind of split it. A lot of times people will also just kind of split it horizontally, so into thirds, and do it that way. But yeah, we'll see, and I try to keep the bag unzipped for this because I don't want it to get like too smushed in there and felted. So that's the other Created by Elsie B. And then earlier in the year I went to New England. I went to a festival, I'll put the name again here, and I ended up buying, just because I couldn't look away from this color. It is beautiful pinks and browns and white, and it's from Alpaca Obsession, and it is 98% alpaca and 2% Seacell. The alpacas' names are Daisy and Surrey, and it says, it's the alpacas are Daisy and Surrey and Callie. So this is 2 ounces. So I bought it. I even said at the time I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but I couldn't look away from it, so I'm gonna spin up some alpaca. And then I was because I was asking so many questions about it and saying how new of a spinner I was, she actually gave me this as well, which is the same idea. This is 60% alpaca, 30% CVM, and 10% silk, and she said it was like a little felted, so she was okay with giving, she kind of just gave it away to me. And she said that way, because this one was 60% alpaca, it would help me get used to spinning it before kind of moving on to the project that I was like excited about, which was so nice. And again, the colors, it's like a purple and a lime green. I wouldn't have bought it, those colors, but I am more than happy to have practice alpaca. So I have to, again, see, I have to make room for this. I think it's like comparative, like the amount of yarn I have to knit compared to how much knitting I get done. Like, this is way more fiber compared to like how much I actually get done. Do you know what I mean, relatively speaking? Okay, so then at Rhinebeck, loop was there, and I had to see the loop wall, and then I had to get it back. So this is loop, and it's a Bullseye bump, and it's the Impatiens colorway, and it's just you pull, so it's pink and like a dark gray and a light gray, or like a cream or a light pink. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's probably got like a combination of all three in there. And you just pull this from the center. So this is a Batt versus the created by Elsie B being the comb top. And so that's also something. So I think something that I want to try. So I think I need to get through this Niagara Falls spin. And then I think I'm going to try this one before moving on to the alpaca spin. And then after the alpaca, I'll probably come back to the created by Elsie B. But yeah, I have spinning to do. So that's my spinning introduction. I probably, when I do my whip posts on Wednesdays, I probably won't always show my spinning unless like I do start making tremendous progress. I'd love to keep you updated, but I probably won't, you know, show it every time, just because I really don't make too much progress on a weekly basis. So yeah, that's my spinning, and I will check in with you guys soon. Bye.